4 o'clock in the morning. Also, it's good to have you guys on board. Quite a number of Nigerians on the call. That's good. But it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Don't worry, I'm not going to take too much of your time, okay? I'm just going to take the next 1 hour, 30 minutes maximum, okay? And we'll be talking about that today. This is literally what we're going to be doing. All right. So we're just going to. So I know it's very early in the morning for the guys in Nigeria. I know we're supposed to be having more people from Canada, the US join the session. Well, this is 8 p.m. That's 8 p.m. or basically like 10 p.m. if you're in Toronto. That's about 10 p.m. in Toronto at the moment. All right. Well, yes, let's go straight into it. So today we're going to be talking about getting started with Python as a data engineer, data scientist, and cybersecurity analyst. Now, Python is a very versatile tool that is being used by data engineers, data scientists, cybersecurity, and so many other career paths. Okay. The reason why we're talking about data engineering, data science, and cybersecurity is because those are the training programs that we offer based off three metrics that we are looking at. Okay, so the reason why we're looking at this career path is ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and the high paying salaries. Okay, so I'll repeat that again. The reason why we're looking at these three career paths: ease of learning, ease of transitioning, meaning that you're currently a call center representative. You're currently working in warehouse. You're currently working as whatever you're doing, a banker. Okay, and you're looking to transition, okay? So you're moving from one career to a new career. How can you transition? Ease of transitioning. That's what the next thing we're looking at. Then the third and last thing is high paid salary. So the reason for you transitioning, for you leaving the job you're doing at the moment to the new job you're going into is essentially because you want to earn more money. All right. So we're going to be looking at Python today. Python is a very versatile tool. All right. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. All right. So jumping straight into the session. All right. About analytics, what we stand for, we are essentially, an educational technology firm, and the goal for us is to get more Africans into the tech space. Okay, and that will feed back to the three key metrics that I talked about. You want to learn the tech skill. Okay, it has to be easy to learn. It has to be, easy for you to transition, and also easy for you to get a job. So that's our mantra. How do we get more Africans into the tech space? All right. And that's the reason why we started analytics to get more, to bridge the gap, to reduce the barrier. All right. In that, for Africans to get into the tech space. And essentially, that's what we do. So we offer, an array of training programs cutting across data analytics, data science, cybersecurity analysis, data engineering, data science, and so on and so forth. All right. And that's what we do. So basically, if you're looking to transition, or you have a friend of yours that is looking to transition into the tech space, they should be on board right now. So if you want to recommend, you want to send a message, you want to tell your friends, tell your family, looking to transition, they should be here. All right. So about myself, my name is Ifemena Ipro. I am the co-founder of Analytics. You can just call me Ifemena, okay? And you can follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Is just, you can reach out to me on those platforms. It's a communication and we can get talking. But essentially, I like to talk about my background. So I studied economics in university. First job was as a management consultant. And from there, I obviously transitioned from management consulting into a tech professional. So my experience has spanned quite a number of roles. Okay, I'll tell I've been privileged to get to have worked for different organizations in Ireland, UK, US, Canada, and also where else? I'm missing one country. All right, but okay, if it comes back again, okay. So that's been my experience. I've worked across at least 4 countries off the top of my head. That's Ireland, UK, US, and also Canada. Okay, that's all. All right, correct. Okay, so my experience, has also spanned across different data roles. So I've worked as a data analyst, I've worked as a data scientist, business intelligence developer, data engineer, what else? Business systems analyst. I've led different data initiatives for big tech firms across the world. Okay, and that's literally my experience. Well, one key thing I like to expatiate on is the fact that I did not do this in school. All right. I never studied this in university. My university degree was in economics. Okay. So everything I did now was based off self-learning, okay, self-personal development, and I was able to transition and I was able to do more. But now the key thing on why we started, the key thing on the basis on why we started analytics was it took myself and Adeza about 2 years in order for us to transition to get our job, the first job. And we kept asking ourselves, should it have taken us 2 years to get the job? And the answer was a resounding no. All right. So essentially, if you're looking to transition at this point in time, okay, I'll tell you for free, the opportunities are there, and you have nothing to lose. Literally, you have nothing to lose. Nobody's telling you you need to quit your job. Nobody, and never, you'll never see any session where we tell you quit your job, learn data analytics, learn data science, learn data engineering, learn cybersecurity, and then you can get a job. Quit your job. Okay. If you don't believe in it, if you don't believe that you can get a job, or you don't believe that this can happen, I'm telling you to quit your job. Well, literally just saying that invest in yourself and see what happens in the next 4 or 5 months, okay? And see what changes. See how you change in the next 4 months, 4 or 5 months maximum. All right. And then you can get a job. All right. So, and that's exactly what I did also. As a manager consultant, I stayed on my job. Okay. I was working as a consultant. I enjoyed it a bit. I did not enjoy it some days. I enjoyed it some days. Fine. But I stayed on the job to learn. While I was doing my personal development. And eventually, after a while, I was able to get the job I was looking out for. So really, it's no risk. You're not taking any risk. It's literally just investing in yourself and see what it pans out to be. And essentially, that's the key thing. And that's really what I did. And I'm telling you for free, it's really paying off big time. All right. So we're going to be looking at 5 things today. Okay. We're going to be looking at Python. Okay. We're going to write some Python codes. We'll see some real life application of Python. All right. As a data scientist, as a data engineer, and also as a cybersecurity analyst. Okay. So Python is a unique tool that has been used by all these professionals, data engineers, data scientists, and cybersecurity analysts. Now, if you're trying to transition into this role, one technical tool that you need to learn is Python. All right. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. Secondly, the pathway to becoming a data engineer, data scientist, and cybersecurity analyst. We're going to be looking at that today. Last one, the third one is remote full-time and tech relocation opportunity. So you want to get a job. At the end of learning all this Python, at the end of learning data engineering, data science, cybersecurity, you want to get a job. All right. You want to get a paying job, a better job. Okay. All right. You don't want to earn what you're earning at this month, at this point in time. You want to earn more money. And essentially, that's what we're going to talk you through to get you what you're looking for. Remote opportunity, relocation opportunities that exist once you become a tech professional. The next thing we're going to be talking about is Analytics Growth Internship Program. And now this is one of the essential aspect of our training program that has gotten people the jobs that they are looking for. So if you're looking to transition and you're looking to gain experience, the growth internship program is what you're looking for. Now, the fifth part of what we're going to discuss today is the special offer we have for you. All right, the special offer we have for you. So these are the 5 things we're going to be looking at today. First, we're going to be writing some Python codes. Number two, we discuss the pathway to becoming a data engineer, data scientist, and cybersecurity analyst. Number three is remote and relocation opportunity. Number four, growth internship program. And number five, the special offer that we have for you. Now let's get started. All right, we're going to be using Google Colab. All right, we're going to be working with Python in Google Colab. All right. So I'm pretty sure this is the first time some of you will be hearing this, but don't worry, I'll do an introduction so we are all on the same page. Okay. All right. So just give me a second. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go on my browser and type in Google Colab. I'm just gonna type in Google Colab. Okay. All right. And once you go on Google, just type in Google Colab, like to collaborate. Okay, like to collaborate. You see it here. Welcome to Collaboratory. Okay. So that's the first word, the first link you have there. Just click on it. All right. And I'm going to cancel this. Okay. And I can click on file and I'll click on new notebook. Right. So now you see how easy it is for you. Your Google Colab is online. You need the internet in order for you to access this. All right, you need internet. Okay, and I'll explain all this in a few seconds. Okay, so this is Google Colab. Let me name this. I'll rename this instead of Untitled. I'm going to give it a different name. I'm going to give it February Masterclass. All right. So what's today's date? February 23rd. Okay, Masterclass. Okay. I'll say Python Masterclass, obviously. That's what I'll call it. All right. So Python Masterclass, February 23rd, Python Masterclass. So this is Google Colab. So I'm going to explain what Google Colab is all about in a few seconds. Okay. So for people that are just starting, you're looking at it. This guy just went ahead to open some application that we've never seen before. What is Google Colab? Google Colab basically is an IDE. Okay. An IDE stands for integrated, okay, development environment. Environment. Okay. Integrated development. See, guys, as a technical person, to be honest with you, I never used to like all these technical words. Well, after a while, you get used to it. It's interesting to talk about it because it's sweet. Because not everybody knows it. So when you're talking about it, make you sound smart. Okay. All right. And obviously, so when I say, when I'm talking about Google Colab, it's an IDE. So an IDE is an acronym that stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay. Now, essentially, what does this mean? What does all these technical jargons I've just written on my screen or I've just typed in? What does this mean? And I'm going to explain this. Okay. If you have a project you want to, if you have a, let's say project, all right, you have a project, a written project, all right, you have a written project that you want. You have a written project, okay, like your dissertation or your final year project or whatever project you're working on. Okay, you see, you need to write a written project in Microsoft MS Word. You need to go and write it in MS Word. Okay, if you have a slide presentation to create, slide presentation, all right, if you have a slide presentation to create, where would you go to create this? You go to MS PPT, Microsoft PowerPoint. All right, you go to PowerPoint to create your slide presentation. If you want to do some, spreadsheet calculation, okay, you want to do some spreadsheet calculation. All right, all right. Where would you go to? You go to Microsoft Excel. Okay. So you see, these tools, this application allow you to do your stuff, correct? So you want to write your a written project, an essay, or you want to write a project, you go to Microsoft Word to write those projects. You won't want to do your written essay, okay, in a slide presentation. And you won't want to do your slide presentation in a Microsoft Word document. It makes no sense. It doesn't give you the chance to do what you need to do. So like a slide presentation, for example, like what I was sharing earlier, like the way it is moving from one slide to the next slide, you can't do that in Microsoft Word. You can't do that in Microsoft Excel. All right. If you take an Excel formula, okay, an Excel formula, okay, all right, and let's say the formula is equals to 2 plus 2, which ideally, when you put it in Excel, it will give you a 4. All right. If you take this formula, okay, and you carry it to Microsoft Word, do you think Microsoft Word would understand, okay, would conceptualize this particular calculation? Absolutely no. If you take the same formula and you put it in PowerPoint, do you think this formula, do you think PowerPoint will understand this same formula? Obviously, no. All right. So you see, each application is an environment. It's an environment. Okay, it's an environment. So the Microsoft Word is an environment, an application essentially that allows you to write your written project. MS PowerPoint is an environment, okay, that allows you to create slide presentation. All right. MS Excel is an environment, okay, that allows you to do what? To perform spreadsheet calculations. Okay. Now, Google Colab, okay, Google Colab, what we're talking about today, all right, is an environment, okay, it's an environment that allows you to write Python code, okay, that allows you to write Python codes and it will understand. The key thing is to understand what you're writing, just like Excel function. If you write this function in PowerPoint, it doesn't understand. If you write the same function in Microsoft Word, it doesn't understand. If you write this same formula, Microsoft Excel formula in Google Colab does not understand also. All right. So you see, the key thing is this environment. All right. The environment basically allows you to write Python codes. Okay. All right. Python, sorry, codes. And it understands essentially what you are typing in. All right. So that's the whole idea about IDE. So if you've heard of IDE, okay, that's basically what it means. That's what it stands for. All right. So let's move on. I hope that is clear enough for you guys for the first time. For first timers in the house, I hope that's clear enough. Okay. So that's an IDE. So now what are we going to be talking about today? Okay. What are we talking about today? Okay, so we're going to be looking at we're going to be looking at more than three things. We're going to be looking at data types in Python. We're going to be looking at data types in Python. So we're going to be looking at integers. We're going to be looking at float and what we call strings. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to be looking at. Now, the second thing we're going to be looking at is what we call variable assignment. All right. And the third thing, if you have enough time, conditional statements. Conditional. Oh yeah. Conditional statements. All right. I'm trying to make myself laugh because you guys are very quiet. So conditional statement. My Ibadan accent is coming out. Is anybody from Ibadan here? Okay. All right. So conditional statement, we're going to look at that. And essentially, when you're talking about conditional statement, you are talking about the if statement. You're talking about if, elif, elif, and else statement. Okay. And the last thing we're going to talk about is, if you have enough time, what we call loops. And we're going to be looking at four loops. Okay. Or maybe for and while loops. Okay. If we have enough time, we might look at these two guys. Okay. So essentially, these are what we're going to be talking about today. It's a lot. Do you think it's a lot? It's actually not a lot. Okay, it might be a lot for you to say that in the next 30 minutes, if a miner is going to talk about data types, variable assignments, conditional statements, loops, in just 30 minutes, Python, and I'm new to Python. How is this guy going to, how is this guy going to handle all this in about 30 minutes when he thinks people will understand? Don't worry. That's why you're here. You're just here to listen. Don't do anything else. Just listen, and you're going to be fine. Okay? So all I need you to do is listen. So let's run this now. Okay? I'm just going to run that. Okay? So I'm going to start with the first thing, data types. Okay? I'm going to start with the first thing, data types. So I'm going to start with number one, the number one on the list, integers. Okay? Integers, essentially, they are all numbers. So meaning that there is no jara, there's no extra. Okay? It is all. So give me, give me a whole can of milk. Okay? Give me one can of milk. You're not asking for an extra, you're looking for the full can of milk. So integers basically are all numbers. So without any all numbers, no extras, basically. So when you say number 10 is a whole number, no extra. And when I say extra, it basically means there is no decimal place. Okay? So when I say whole number, basically means no decimal point. Okay? No decimal points. Okay, that's what it means. So 10, for example, 10 is a whole number without no decimal place. That's 10. All right, 10. And if I check the type, there's a way you can check the data type. Okay, we're talking about data types. Okay, so if you check the type of number 10 and you put 10 inside that bracket and you run it, you see it will give you int. So the short form for integers is basically what we call int. Okay, so in Python, int is basically integers. Integers is int. Basically, they're the same thing. This is just a short form of integer. Okay, so 10 is an integer. All right. So one other thing that you need to know is, as long as it is either negative or positive, it is still integer, negative or positive. So most people will be thinking that, oh, because it's a negative number, there will be another name for it. But that's the funny thing about Python. Python doesn't care about it. So if it is positive, so 10 currently, that's positive, it's integer. If I say minus 10, for example, it's still going to give me integer. And I run it, minus 10 will still give me integer. If I put minus 10, billion, trillion, gazillion, it doesn't matter how massive the number is. Okay? If I run it, it's still going to give me int. Python is not that complicated. As long as there's no decimal place, guys, it is an integer. It's as simple as that. No more, no less. Okay? Positive, negative, it doesn't care. 1 billion, 1 trillion, 1 gazillion, it doesn't matter. Is there decimal place? As long as there's no decimal place, you are fine. Do you understand? So positive, negative, infinity numbers of zeros, okay? As long as there's no decimal place, you are dealing with an integer, okay? The next one we're going to be talking about is what we call a float, okay? So I'm just going to add more code, more line of codes in there so that it's easy for you to see my screen, okay? All right, so floats, essentially, these guys are what? They are decimal point numbers, like you guess right, decimal point numbers. Okay, so either positive or negative too, it doesn't matter. Okay, either positive or negative, it doesn't matter, it is still a float. So if I say 10.5, that's a float. Okay, that's a float. I check the type, okay, and I put 10.5 in a bracket and I run it, it's still going to give me, you see, this gives me a float. Okay, this gives me a float, either positive or negative. It's still going to give me a float. So Python is not that complicated. That a lot of people will be thinking that, oh, I need to master this, I need to remember this. Numbers. There are two types of numbers. In Python, there are two types of numbers. It doesn't go more than that. So when you're looking at numbers, okay, when you're looking at numbers in general, there are two types of numbers. There is what your own number, okay, all right, all right, and there is decimal point numbers. It doesn't get more complicated than that, okay? So all numbers, no decimal places, 10. Decimal point numbers, 10.5. Anytime you see this decimal point, it is a float. It's as simple as that. And that's exactly what we have established from our code base that we have here. No more, no less, okay? It doesn't get more technical than what we have seen just now, right? So we have dealt, you see, in just about 5 minutes, we have explored two data types, okay? We've explored two data types, and I can tell you for free that if they wake you up tomorrow morning, at least if you spend your day, they ask you next week, you know that there is decimal point and there is no decimal point numbers, all right? And you remember that. Now, the other one that we're going to talk about is strings, okay? Strings, okay? So I'm going to talk about strings. Strings, okay, and I'll say they are basically text, text. Just text. So if I want to write Ifemena now, for example, I need to put a quotation mark and I put it inside Ifemena. So you see this Ifemena, that's text. I want to write a text. That is text. So Ifemena is text. So this is a string, for example, and I run this, it will give me Ifemena. All right. Now let's check the type of Ifemena. Okay. I'm going to take somebody's name, for example. Let's say Elijah. Let me use Elijah's name. Okay. Elijah. Elijah is a very smart professional, one of the best guys to work with, to be honest with you. All right. So Elijah, all right, let's check your name. Let's check the type of, let's check the data type of Elijah's name. All right. Elijah, what do you call it? Your data type is string. So you see, the short form for this is str. You're easy to remember. String is str, string, basically text. So if I want to write something like, I talked about Elijah and I say Elijah, okay, is a very smart professional. Is a very smart professional. Okay. So this is all text, me writing a full sentence. Okay. And I put full stop self. Okay. Elijah is a smart professional. Okay. And I wrote like, let's check the type for this. Okay, I put the type function, open a bracket, and I close the bracket, and I run this. It is still a string. So one single text, a sentence that is a text, it doesn't matter as long as you have that comma, the quotation mark at the start and at the finish. That is what we call a text. Okay, that's a text. That is a string in Python. All right. So integer, whole numbers, float, decimal point numbers, strings, which is basically what we call text. Okay. That's exactly what we have here. If a man has a text, Elijah text, Elijah is a smart professional, also text. Okay. Those are all strings. Okay. So if you understand so far what we have been able to achieve, put a one in the chat. Let me see where we are. Okay. If you understand where we're coming from, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat, guys. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Fantastic. Okay, great stuff, guys. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is we've established this. Okay, we know this integer, float, strings. These are three data types that we've looked at already. Now, let's talk about variable assignment. Okay, variable assignment. And this is the easiest thing you can learn today. Trust me, guys. Variable assignment. Okay, variable assignment. Okay, variable assignment. All right. So now variable assignment basically it's just like a variable is like a container. Let me just put it there. Okay, so when you're looking at it, variables are empty containers. Empty. Okay, containers. Okay, but variables are empty containers. Basically, it's like a rubber. So today, if you buy, I usually use the ice cream bowl, for example. Okay, so if you buy an ice cream today, you buy ice cream, fan ice, or you buy vanilla, you buy whatever kind of ice cream in a bowl. Okay, so back then in Ireland, whenever I never bought a Tupperware, I never bought a Tupperware for one time in my life in Ireland. All through the time I was in Ireland. So whenever, obviously, living outside the country, you need to store your food. Even I never store food in Nigeria. I usually eat from the pot, warm the food. That's what I used to do. Well, getting to Ireland, I needed to store food, okay? Because I was the only one, I needed to store the food in the fridge, in the refrigerator. All right. So I never wanted, not like I didn't want to buy Tupperware. It was just a waste of money, to be honest with you. So what I usually do is I buy ice cream, okay? And I finish the ice cream within a day, 2 days. And the rubber, the container of the ice cream is what I used to store food. So if today I cook jollof rice, for example, I store the jollof rice inside the ice cream bowl. If I have soup that is left, what do? I pack the soup and put in another ice cream bowl. So I have plenty. In fact, I had a lot of ice cream bowls. Okay, so they were containers, empty containers. So if today I wanted to store okra, I'll put okra inside. If next tomorrow I want to store egusi, I'll put egusi inside. The next day ogbono, I put ogbono. Do you understand? So I have that container. All right. But you notice that the ice cream bowl will never reject the food. So the ice cream bowl will not say, "Oh, I'm allergic. I'm allergic to coconut rice. I don't eat coconut rice. Don't put coconut rice inside that ice cream bowl." It's impossible. The bowl cannot be allergic to food. Whatever I want to store inside, I can store inside. In fact, if it's not even food, if it is bandage, okay, sewing equipment, I can put inside. It will store it for me. All right. That's essentially what a variable is. A variable is literally an empty container that you can use to store items. Today, that ice cream bowl, I can store egusi inside. The next day, I can finish the egusi and you know what? I can put grinded pepper inside. All right. The next day, I could take that out, clean it, and put sewing equipment inside that same ice cream bowl. The next day, I can remove the sewing equipment and I'll take it outside to use it to bath. So I can use it for anything. Do you understand? All right. So really, that's a variable. A variable is just an empty container. All right. So take for example, let's say the word, um, let's say the word income. Okay. Income equals to 1,000. So basically, what this means is that I am putting this 1,000 inside this what item that you have here, okay, is a variable. Okay. So you see the item on the left, the item here, the item, whatever item you have on the left, this is what we call the variable. Okay, this is what we call the variable, and this is the item that you're putting inside. So basically, it's just like that container that I talked about. Okay, pardon my container. Okay, this is the container. So all I'm doing is basically in real time, I am taking that 1,000, okay, and I am putting it inside that empty container. So say income, this income, okay, income is an empty container, okay, and I am putting 1,000 inside that empty container. Every time I open the container, what would come out? It's only 1,000 I'll see inside. Anytime I open this container, it is only 1,000 I would see inside. All right. So now, if I run this now, you see income will give me 1,000. If I say income multiplied by 2, so it is basically the item inside the container multiplied by 2. So that is 1,000 multiplied by 2 will give me 2,000. All right. So income is a container. Okay. So if you put a goosey inside that your ice cream bowl and you open the ice cream bowl, what would you see inside? You'll see what you put inside. That's exactly what's happening. So the container, inside this container, income, okay, the name of my container, the name of my ice cream bowl is income. All right. So I've put 1,000 inside that income, inside the container. So whenever I open it, okay, I'm going to see 1,000. Okay. So I can use it to do calculations like this. Income multiplied by 2 to give me 2,000. And like I mentioned earlier, it's empty. It's an empty container. I can store anything inside. Okay. If it is a float, I could say number num, let's say num equals to 2.5. I can store a float inside. Okay, and it will still give me 2.5. It will accept it. I could store a string inside. So let's say name. I'll say name equals to, I'll put another very smart guy, another smart professional, Damilola. Okay, these are all my colleagues, yeah. Very smart people. They make me happy every single day of my life. Okay, so Oluwadamilola is another person. Okay, so that's a name. Okay, all right. So Oluwadamilola, I'm going to put a name there. And you see, it will take it. So a variable basically doesn't reject. It's just like that ice cream I talked about. Today I put jollof rice inside, it will take it. Next tomorrow I put something else, it will take it. It's not going to say I'm allergic to engine oil. Okay, I don't put engine oil inside me. Don't put kerosene or petrol. It's not going to reject it. The container is empty. I mean, I can pour anything I want inside. That's essentially what a variable is. So you see the variable 1,000, I can put 1,000 inside the variable. I could put an integer, essentially. I could put a float inside a variable, and I could put a name or a string in real sense. I could put a string inside the same variable. So that's exactly what variables are all about. Okay. So you see, these are interesting facts that you need to understand. A lot of people think this is technical in the real sense of it, but you see, in just a matter of 15 minutes or thereabouts, we've been able to go through integers, float, strings, and variable assignment. All right. Now let's do something interesting. Okay. Conditional statements. Okay. Conditional statement. Conditional statement. Okay. If I tell you, say I love you, oh. All right, so basically I'm trying to sing now. I know I have a very good voice and I know people fall in love with me when I sing, but I want you guys to just focus on Python for today. You can send me, you can if you want me, if you want to sign me up in your record label, you can call me up next, we can have a conversation. I mean, you can check me out on LinkedIn and you can send me your contract and I'll be happy to sign. But today, let's talk about conditional statement. I talked about if, okay? If I tell you I love you, okay, what would happen? What happens next? What is the condition? If you go out, my guy, let me call Ayodeji. Ayodeji Popola. Ayodeji Alpha, I beg. If you're coming back home, okay, if we're staying together in the same house, and I'm saying Ayodeji Popola, Alpha, when you're coming home, if you see Suya on the way, I beg, buy Suya. It's as simple as that condition. Ayodeji, if you see Suya on the way, please buy Suya. Do you understand? It's a condition. And if Ayodeji is coming back from work and he sees Suya on the way, what would he do? Ayodeji will buy suya for me. Okay, I want to believe Ayodeji will buy suya. Am I correct, Ayodeji, Kokola? Would you buy suya for me when you're coming back from work? Let me see. Put it in the chat. Let me see the guys that will buy suya for me. Or is it Amy? Amy, would you buy shawarma for me when you're coming back from work? Oh, Ayodeji, you're awesome. Amy, would you buy suya for me when you're coming back from work? Or when you're coming, where's Amy at the moment? Let me see. Yo, yes, exactly. You guys are the real G's, to be honest. So basically, if you see that thing that's established that condition, do exactly what is after that. If you see suya is the first condition. If you see, if you don't see, fine, okay? Come back empty-handed. But if you see, buy suya, that's it, okay? So in this scenario, okay, I'm going to be doing something related to cybersecurity, okay? I'm going to be talking about password. So let's build something that has to do with password collection, okay? Let's talk about password verification, verification system or code, whatever. You can call it a code, you can call it this. Okay. All right. Everybody wants to buy me suya. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so let's talk about password verification systems. Okay, password verification. Okay, so password. Let's talk about password. Okay, so obviously, let's just assume you have a correct password. So let's say correct. Let's create a variable called correct password. Okay, correct password. Okay, and our correct password is Ayodeji Ayodeji Suya. Pardon me, okay? Suya, Ayodeji Suya is our password. We've created a password. That is our correct password. You see, when you're creating an account, for example, you go on Google, you want to create a Gmail account, you need a password, okay? You need a password, okay? You need a password, all right? That's the correct password. Ayodeji is the correct password. When you created the account, that's the correct password. Well, we need to, anytime you want to log in, you need to always write in that password. You need to always write the password. So how does the system confirm your password is correct? So when you created the password, when you at the first instance of you trying to create an account, okay, all right, the system would ask you to input your password like 2 times, all right, in order for them to establish that you know the password that you're writing. Okay. So now let's verify. Let's now call it password. Okay, password. Password equals to, let me put in the wrong password. Let me put in the wrong password just so that you understand. And I'll put in, let me use Amy Shawarma. All right, Shawarma. These are the things I miss most in Nigeria. I won't lie to you. Shawarma, suya. You don't buy all those things over here. Okay. All right. So that's the password. It's obviously wrong. That password you see here is wrong. Okay. So if I say if password, this is our password, okay, is equals to correct password. Okay. If password is equals to correct password, what should happen? Print login successful. So if the password, this password that we have here, if this password is equals to this password, then obviously that's login successful. Okay, login successful. Okay, all right. Else, okay, what should happen? Print wrong password. Wrong password. Okay. So if this correct password is equals to this password that you're imputing, then print login successful. Else, print wrong password. So essentially, it works like that same condition that we talked about. So Ayodeji is coming back from work. Okay, Ayodeji is coming back from work. So Ayodeji, if you see Suya, okay, if you see Suya, if you see, all right, if you see Suya, already you have to buy. So that's the condition. So if this one is correct, okay, do this. So buy. If you see Suya, buy. Else, All right. Else, if you don't see suya, what would you do what? You won't buy. Don't buy. Okay. So obviously, if Ayodeji is coming back from work, if he sees suya, he will buy. Else, he doesn't buy suya. Okay. That's exactly what we're doing here. If the password, which is what we have here, Amy Kawama, is equals to the correct password, then login is successful. That means your password is correct. But if it's not, print wrong password. That's exactly what we're trying to do. That's conditional statement. All right. So now let's quickly take a look at it. Let's run this to see what happens. Okay. Let's run this. All right. So take a look. Where's my pen? My pen is just acting up today. Okay. Now let's run this. Okay. You see, it's giving me wrong password. And that's because Amy Shawama is the wrong password. Ayodele Suya is the right password. So now you see that if I copy this now and I put in the right password, I put in Ayodeji there instead of Amy Shawama, okay, and I run this, you see it confirms and it says login successful because this my password is equals to the correct password. Hence the reason why it will tell me login successful. All right. But this is a tasking way of doing this. Okay, so I'll show you a better way. I'll show you a better way to essentially make your code, make your code more responsive. Responsive. Okay, so we're going to use a function in Python called the impute function. So the impute function will go ahead to ask for your password. Just the same way when you're trying to log in, it will tell you input your password here. Okay, so let me show you let me show you how it's going to come out. So I'm going to come here and type in type in your type your password here, right? Or input your password. Input your password here. Okay, so let me run this now. You see, this impute function would now get Python to ask the user to impute their password. Now, take for example, let me run this now. I run this, and you see now, it's now saying that impute your password here. Initially, I needed to write my password over here. Initially, I had to write it personally. I had to write it, manually type it in the code. But now Python, this impute function that we have here, is now telling us to impute your password over here. Impute your password here. So now, rather than me typing it in the code and coding it, now Python is asking me to impute my password over here. So now let me type in the wrong password. I'll say if a mena, what other okay, and I run it. You see, because this password I wrote here does not equals to the correct password, it's telling me login, wrong password, essentially. Okay, so this particular password I've written does not match the correct password. Hence the reason why it is what? Telling me wrong password. Let me put in the right password. And I'll just type in IOAG, Suya, okay, and I run it, and you see, login successful. Fantastic. So conditional statement. But you see, I'm not going to introduce you to what we call for loop. For loop. Okay? For loop. So now, how many attempts? Let me ask you, how many attempts, ideally, okay, how many attempts should your password verification take? Okay, how many attempts should we take? Okay, how many? Five attempts. That's highlight. That's also very good. Five, three, you could say five, you could say three, depending if you want 10 times, is your choice. But anyways, you could use five. Five is a lot. I think it's only bank apps. It depends on the bank, really. I know some banks that do three. I know some banks that do five. Five is actually a lot, to be honest with you. Five times. It's maybe the first trial will give you five times. All right. But let's just say for the sake of let's say five. A lot of people are putting in five. So I'll just do five. Okay. Some people say three, some people say five. Whatever works for you. But I'll do five, I'll do three. I'll show you how to work with it. All right. So I'm going to introduce you to what we call a for loop. Okay, I'll just put it here and I'll introduce you to what I call a for loop. A for loop. Okay, so the for loop basically allows you, okay, allows you, it's you, not me, allows you to perform an operation a certain number of times. Operation a certain number of times. Okay, so like this operation now, this login confirmation, this password verification, all right, verification system, all right, this password verification system, okay, we need to do this 3 times. So if you have the wrong password, I need to attempt it 3 times, not one time, okay? I need to attempt it 3 times, not one time. Okay, this password verification, I need to put in my password at least 3 times before they block me off. Okay, so not just one time. So this current statement that we've done here only allows one time. Just do it once, and that's the end. Okay, so but now we want to try to do it 5 times, either 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, whatever number of times that we want. Okay, so the for loop allows you to perform an operation a certain number of times. Okay, so now let's start from the first thing. I'm going to introduce you to something I call range. So if I say range 5, we're using five times to do something 5 times. Okay, basically it's telling you range 0 to 5. Range 0 to 5. So this one might be slightly technical, but I will explain it to you. All right. So what this range 0 to 5 means, what does range 0 to 5? What does this mean? In Python, when you're looking at Python, Python does not start from one. When you say count, when we want to count normally, you will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're starting from one. We always count from one. Normal. Every time we want to count, we start counting from one. But Python doesn't count from one. Python starts counting from 0. Okay? So in order for us to count 5, okay, it's going to count 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So Python starts counting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, when you see range 0, 5, it basically means start at 0, start at number 0, okay, which is what we have here, and end at, what they call it, and end at 5. So wherever it ends, it doesn't include it in the numbers. Wherever it ends, it doesn't include it in the numbers. So start at 0, end at 5. So that end at 5, it doesn't take it into consideration. Okay. Okay. So if you're going, let's say you're going to a bus stop. Basically, where your main bus stop is stopping, it doesn't get to that stop. It will stop at the previous bus stop. That's basically what it means. Okay. So start at 0, end at 5. So end at 5, it doesn't take into consideration that 5. What it will do, it will start from 0 and take it to 4. So if you see count, ideally, you will still get your normal 5. So 0 is 1, 1 is 2, 2 is 3, 3 is 4, 4 is 5. So you still get 5. Okay, it's just that the way you count, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Python counts as 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's the difference. So when you see this, okay, let me show you something real quick. Okay, let me show you something. So range 5. So if I convert it to a list, for example, and I put range, okay, range 5. Exactly what I have done here, you see it will count only from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, it will count only 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's exactly what it does. So when you say range 5, it's not counting 0, it's not counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is counting 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just wanted to establish that so that you understand it by your own terms. Okay. All right. So that's range 5. So once you want to do something 5 times, range 5. You want to do something 5 times, you do it in range 5. Okay. So I would say for loop for I in range 5. Okay. Then I would do all these things. I would say for I in range 5, I'll copy this my code. this code I have in here, okay? All right, I'll take it. Okay, no, I just need this code here. Okay, I'll put the code inside this place. Okay, um, click this and indent it. Okay, all right. So now, what is my original password? What's the correct password? We need to establish the correct password. That's the first thing we need to do. So when you're creating your account, you need to establish the password. So the correct password is Ayodeji Suya. Okay, or let me change it. Let me try something else. Let me try Abiye 2024. That's our password. This is the correct password. So when you create the account, you create a unique password. Okay. When you create, let me take somebody's name down below. So everybody's, let me take Mukaila. Okay. Mukaila Ibrahim. Or let me use Ibrahim or Mukaila. Which one would you prefer? I'll take Mukaila. Okay. Mukaila. Mukaila. Okay, Mukaila. Okay, correct. Mukaila 2024. That's the correct password. Okay, that's the correct password. So when I said that's the when you created the account, this was the correct password. Okay, but we need to confirm our password 5 times. Okay, so when we're writing the password, we have 5 trials. We have 5 trials. Okay, so I'm going to run this now. I'm going to run this. And let's see. So you see now, input your password. I'll put in the wrong password. I'll put Ifemena, okay? And I'll run this. You see, wrong password, okay? And it's asking me again to input my password. Let me try somebody else's name. All right, I'll put Jedidiah, Jedidiah, okay? And I'll run it. You see, wrong password again. I'll try Ibrahim 2024, okay? Okay, I'm trying all the password I know. Okay, 2024, also wrong. So you see, this is the first trial. This is the second trial. This is the third trial. Now let me put in the right password in the fourth trial. Let's see what happens. Let's put in the Mukalai 2024. Mukaila. Okay, capital M is very important. It's case sensitive. Mukaila 2024. Basically, I can just actually copy it so I don't make any mistake. So you see exactly what we need to do now. Okay, Mutala 2024, I paste it in. Login successful. But this guy, this is my code, is still asking me to put in password again. Okay? Imagine you're trying to log into your GT app or your bank app. Okay? And all of a sudden, all right, you've put in your password, but it's still asking you, login successful, but put that your password again. Put it again. Okay. That's exactly what is happening. So I missed the first trial. I missed the second trial. I missed the third trial. The fourth trial, I remembered. So I put in the right password, login successful, but this thing is still asking me to put in my password again. So there is what we call a logic error in my code base. So I'll put in, let me just put in the right password again and I'll press enter, login successful. So you can see the 5 trials. It happened 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's something wrong. When I put in when I put in the right password, it shouldn't be asking me again to put in my password. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So if login successful, if my password is equals to the correct password, print login successful. And after that, there is a statement you need to put in. All right, there's something you need to put in, which is what we call a break statement. What we call break. Okay, break. So basically, what it means. Let me explain this. Let me explain this break statement. Okay, break. Okay, so you see, you need to. If the password is wrong, it would always go back to the start. Okay, but if the password is correct, okay, this break means that break out of the loop. Break out of the loop. Okay, of the loop. Okay, so once the password is correct, okay, Ogweni, break out of this loop. Break out of it. Basically, don't do it again. Break, that means stop. Okay, break out of the loop, stop, don't do anything anymore. Login successful. There is no need to ask this question over and over again. So this break statement I have here is basically saying stop. Okay, no need for the login is successful. Stop. Don't do anything anymore. That's basically what the break statement is doing for us. Okay, so essentially that's exactly what we need to do. Okay, so now if I run this now, let me run my code again. Okay, let me run the code. All right, and I run it. Sorry. Now input your password. Let's say I put in the right password for the first trial. Okay, I run it. Login successful. You see, no more asking me to input my password like 5 times. Okay, the right first password was correct. Login successful. It broke, and that's it. It breaks the loop. Anointing breaks the yoke. Break in this statement breaks the loop in this one. Okay, all right. So let's run it and let's try wrong passwords again. All right. So let me try Vola. Vola, I'm going to use your own Vola 2025 and I run it. Wrong password. I put in let's say Debola of Lagos. Debola of Toronto. Let's say Toronto. Okay, there's already one Debola of Lagos. This we should use Debola of Toronto. Okay, and I run it. You see, wrong password. Now let me put in Mukala to 2024. You see, login successful and it close it off. It closes off. Okay, right password. Okay, so you see, these are applications of Python. Okay, and we can use it for so many things. Python is just a versatile tool to be used for data science, data analytics, and data visual, data engineering, and so on and so forth. All right. So let me just quickly do something real quick. Also, we don't have enough time. Okay, you could also use Python for, I'm just going to paste the code here. All right, so I'm going to create a table real quick. So you see it's the table here. I have Ifemena, I have Adeza, I have Damilola, Elijah, Emeka, and Wale. So these are majority of the guys working with me. Okay, like I said, I like using their names because these are the best guys to work with. All right, so Ifemena 7, Adeza 8, Damilola 10, 10 over 10, Elijah 5. Oh, Elijah, what's happening, guy? Emeka 8, Wale 6. All right, so let's take a look at these numbers, okay? And let's visualize these numbers, okay? So Python allows you to also visualize your data, okay? So I'm going to just, all right, let's visualize the data. So rather than just working with rather than working with what we have here, rather than just working with the numbers, you could also turn those numbers into visualizations that you see here. So Python is that versatile that you could use it for visualization, for data analysis, data visualization, predictive analytics, and so on and so forth. All right. And that's essentially what we're going to be talking about the next 15, 20 minutes. Okay. All right. Application of Python, to the role of a data scientist, data engineer, and cybersecurity analyst. How would these different professionals work with Python? The data scientist, data engineer, and cybersecurity analyst, how would these people get to work with Python? All right. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So looking at what we've talked, looking at these three career paths, okay, please, okay, please, which of these career paths would you be interested in? Which of these tech roles are you interested in? Oh, Virginia is asking, what if we tried on FaceTime, wrong password? What would happen? Wrong password, that's what it's going to give you. All right. But we could also create another function that would, block the person to say it blocked. Okay. So whenever you get the fifth trial and you want to block the person off, you could always put it there, block. Okay. So which of these career paths are you interested in? Let me see. Drop it in the chat. Okay. Full stack data science, data engineering, and cybersecurity analyst. Which of these would you be interested in? Okay. Okay. All right. Data science. Okay. Fikayo. Okay, that's good. So now let's jump straight into it. Okay. The role of a data scientist, what makes this person, this professional a lot more desirable. Okay. Cybersecurity analyst, data engineer. So we have an array of people across board. So you see these data scientists, okay, basically they do three things. All right, three things. Okay. So we have descriptive analytics, we have diagnostics, all right, diagnostic analytics, all right, and predictive, okay, predictive analytics, sorry, my pen is on my, let me just erase this. Predictive analytics. So now, the part of this data scientist, they answer these three questions: descriptive analytics. Okay, so everything is basically analytics. Okay, analytics. Okay, now descriptive analytics is basically answering the question. Okay, number one is answering the question: what happened? Okay, what happened? Okay, the next question, diagnostic. Obviously, to diagnose, you're trying to find out the reason why that particular thing happened. And number four is what will eventually happen? What will eventually happen? All right, eventually, okay, happen. Okay, all right. And that's the three things you're trying to answer with your as a data scientist. So as a data scientist, these are the three questions you are always going to be trying to answer. What happened? Why did it happen? And what will eventually happen? What is going to happen? Okay. So when you look at this now, let's take a look at let's talk about this. So the first question, what happened? Okay. All right. So that's where you see you see, the data scientist building a visualization showing you a trend. For example, for this instance, let's say sales, all right, sales trend, okay, all right, first quarter, okay, 2023. What happened the first quarter of 2023? That's January, February, and March, okay? So in January, let's say let's say in terms of sales, we did about 5 million. Okay. In February, we did 7 million. Okay. All right. In March, let's say we did, 2.5 million. Okay. So you see, there was a decline. There was a decline in the first quarter. Okay. So this basically what happened is you just telling the business, oh, we made 5 million in January, we did 7 million in February, and we did 2.5 in March. That's exactly, you answer that question as a data scientist. We're using Python to answer this question. What happened? January, we did 5 million. February, we did 7 million. March, we did 2.5 million. Now, the next question you need to answer is why? Okay, why did it happen? Why did we make 5 million in January? Why did we make 7 million in February? And why did we make a reduction? Why is there this reduction in the month of March? Why did it happen? Okay, now you start to analyze further to find out what constitutes the revenue of 5 million, what constitutes the revenue of 7 million, and what constitutes the revenue of 2.5 million. All right, what products sold better in January? What products sold better in February, and also in March? Also, customer analysis to find out what kind of customers, why, advertisements, okay, adverts, marketing, okay, and all those things. You have to look at everything holistically to understand why there was this drop, there was this increase, why was this drop, so on and so forth. You need to know the reasons why these things are happening. All right. Now, the third thing is going to be looking at it to say that what will eventually happen. All right. What is going to happen to predict, okay, what is going to happen. Okay. So you're trying to predict what will eventually happen. So now you have, obviously, let's just say 2024. Okay. So we don't look at it as so this is our revenue January, February, March 2024, first quarter. So now what's going to happen for the rest of the year? Okay. So from April, okay, all the way to December 2024, okay, what is going to happen? What's the trend going to be like? Okay. So the business also wants to see the trend of future revenue. Okay. Of future revenue. Okay. All right. I want to see what's going to happen from April to December 2024. Can you do a projection for me? That's where the data scientist we now start to work with what we call statistical models. Okay? Statistical models. That's what you now start to do all your statistical modeling, regression, logistics regression, and so on and so forth. Where you start to do what we call machine learning, okay? Machine learning, in order for you to be able to project, in order for you to forecast, in order for you to predict what will happen in the future. So that's the role of the data scientist. The key role of that data scientist is the predictive aspect, being able to extrapolate into the future. What will eventually happen is the role of the data scientist. So that's exactly what you're going to be doing. And what do you need to learn? These are the things you need to learn. Number one, statistics. All right. You need to be very well grounded in statistics. So it's not the statistics you're doing in university or secondary school. All right. This is more business focused statistics. So you're learning it not just for the learning sake, you're learning it to solve business problems, measure of central tendency, measure of asymmetry, measure of, what do you call it again? You have the standard deviation, you have the variance, you have all the statistical concepts. How do you use it to solve business problems? All right. You get to learn that. You also get to work with Microsoft Excel and Tableau for descriptive, diagnostics, and predictive analytics. So you learn how to build your dashboard. You learn how to build dashboard in Excel, learn how to build dashboard, descriptive analytics, diagnostics analytics using, Excel and Tableau. You would also use this tool for predictive analytics. So you use Excel to create predictive models. You would also use Tableau to create predictive models. All right. Essentially, that's what you're going to learn. You would also learn SQL, okay, which is called structured query language. Basically, this one allows you to interact with what we call databases, okay? All right, so you get to learn SQL, structured query language, in order for you to learn how to interact with database, okay? Now, the next you're going to learn Python programming, like we talked about. So you learn Python programming, all right, you learn Python for exploratory data analysis. So for your visualization, storytelling, univariate, bivariate, and multivariate analysis. You would also learn Python for, machine learning, computer vision, GitHub. You will learn GitHub for version control. You will also learn ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for coding. These are all AI tools that you're going to leverage for coding. And also, last but not the least, Microsoft Fabrics. So these are the things you are going to learn in the data science curriculum. So you learn statistics, you learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. You do the same thing in Tableau. You learn SQL for database analysis. You would also learn Python, exploratory data analysis, machine learning, computer vision, GitHub, and there's one other project you will still work on. So you work on project in NLP, which is natural language processing. All right. You would also work on projects in computer vision that you have here, data for version control, and so on and so forth. Now, the learning timeline for this within 10 Analytics is 4 months. 4 months of immersive learning. All right. Immersive learning. So, all right, where you are going to be learning a lot. Okay. Practical, real life case studies, and so on. Okay. And the learning process is for 3 months, live classes. Okay. Is for 3 months, and you have 1 month of internship. Okay, intern for 1 month. So you have 3 months of live classes, okay, and you have 1 month internship. So when I say 4 months immersive experience, it's 4 months of you learning Python, you learning data science to become a data scientist. All right. So now the live classes happens, on weekends. And that's why I say that you don't need to, at the start of the session, I mentioned that you don't need to quit your job to become any of this professional. So currently you're working in a warehouse, you're working as a customer service, you're working as a banker, you're working in any industry. Nobody says you should quit your job. Nobody, no, you're not quitting your job. You are still doing your normal day job, but your weekends are now what you're using to build yourself in your future. All right. So essentially, the morning classes, which is tailored for the guys in EU, UK, and Africa. So basically the guys in Europe and the guys in Africa. So you see, morning session is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Okay, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. That's the morning session. Now, the evening session is for guys in Canada and the US. So essentially, It is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Okay, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Which is going to be the evening for the guys in EU and Africa. So if you're in Europe, anywhere in Europe, and you're in Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, South Africa, and so on, literally, this is going to be the evening session for you, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So you can choose one time that works for you. So you can take the morning session or the evening session, whatever time works for you is your choice. All right. So for the guys in Canada, you would likely go with the evening session because 11 a.m. West African time is going to be midnight for you on Friday. Okay, so that's basically how it works. So Sunday, all right. This is what you call project-based, self-paced materials. So you see, the What We Do videos allow you to practice by yourself. So the Sunday classes, rather than having a live class, we have a self-paced material that will get you to practice by yourself. Because the essence of you practice by yourself is you being confident in your own skill. So we can have a lot of live classes. And one thing I've seen is that people practice better. When they learn better by themselves. So we have the live classes that will give you, real life scenarios, okay, on what to do. But we also have the self-paced materials to help you work on your own at your own pace, learn at your own pace, and also work on project at your own pace. So essentially, for the tools you're going to be working on, you'll obviously be learning statistics, learning Excel, Tableau, SQL, Python, machine learning, Microsoft Fabrics, ChatGPT, and Copilot for data science. Now, the next thing, the roles of a data scientist. What roles can you take on once you complete the training program? You can work as a data scientist, a fraud analyst, a data analyst, pricing analyst, sales analyst, market research analyst, supply chain management analyst, and you have the logistics analyst. There's still more. This is just a rough 8 roles you can apply to. Okay. Now, take for example, looking for my own personal experience. I've worked as a BI developer, I've worked as a BI analyst, I've worked as a business systems analyst. These roles are not yet. These are roles you can actually take on after completing the full stack data science program. Okay, so moving on to the next step, which is data engineering. So data engineering, basically, these are professionals that that move data essentially. Okay, what they call them plumbers. Okay, all right, plumber. Okay, they say don't pronounce the B, so plumber. Okay, plumber. They call them the plumber of the data world. All right. So essentially, yeah, these guys just move data. For example, let's say you are working with a bank. You're working with a bank, okay? And the CEO is saying that you okay, the CEO he wants to know total transaction, total transactions, okay? Total transaction from all payment points. Payment, okay? Is it payment I call it? Payment points, okay? So all payment points, let's just take 3 payment points. Let's take the first payment point, ATM. Okay, second payment point, we have mobile app. Okay, and the last but not the least, let's talk what's the next one? Mobile app, and let's say POS. Okay. All right. So the bank CEO wants to know the total transaction from all the payment points, ATM, mobile app, and POS. And one thing you need to know, one thing you already established is these are different systems. These are what? Different systems. Different, like they stand alone. They don't operate together. Okay, they have different systems. An ATM machine is very different from a mobile app. A mobile app is very different from POS. POS is different from ATM. ATM is different from, everything that's standing on their own. So you see the ATM machine, when you go to the ATM, you put in your card, the transactions, all the transactions, okay, go into a database. Let me draw a database. Okay, it looks like this. This are the draw database. Okay, so it goes into the ATM DB database. All the transaction from the ATM goes into the ATM database. Mobile app also, when you transact on your mobile app, all the transaction go into another database. and you can guess what kind of database that would be. It will be I'll call it MA, which is mobile app database. Same thing with POS, okay? All right, the POS transaction also, all the transaction will go into another database called POS database, okay? All right, it's just like your phone, your mobile phone. You take pictures. When you take pictures on your phone, where does it go to? It goes to gallery. It gets stored in gallery. When you get somebody's phone, when you get somebody's phone number, all right, phone number, all right, where does it get stored? In contacts, okay, contacts. So they are all stored in different locations, all right, and so on and so forth. That's the same thing. So even though it's still one bank, okay, it's one bank, but you see, they have different systems. They have the ATM, they have the mobile app, and they have POS. But now the CEO wants to know all payment points, total transaction from all payment points. So now the data analyst or the data scientist, okay, the data analyst and the data scientist, these are the people they've given the task to. Okay, it's not the data engineer that would calculate total transaction. Okay, that's not the job of the data engineer. The data analyst and the data scientists are the ones that do what we call descriptive and diagnostic analytics, whereby they tell you stories, trend, or what is happening in the bank, and so on and so forth. The role of the data engineer, these people, they need data. They need data to answer this question, total transactions. They need data to answer this question, total transaction from all payment points within a bank. All right. So they need data. These guys they need data. Without data, they can't do their job. Without data, literally their name is data analyst, data scientist. So they need data to do their job. Without data, they won't be able to do their job. So essentially, this data engineer comes in, all right, and builds what we call a data warehouse. A data what? A data warehouse. Okay, data with the house. Okay, if you guys follow Kiss Daniel, I'm a big Kiss Daniel fan. So there is the time you used to do skits and they with a wolf, werewolf is supposed to be a werewolf. So okay, see with a wolf. But anyways, it builds the data warehouse. Okay, it builds a what we call a data warehouse. Okay. Now, the data engineer is responsible for what we call building what we call ETL pipelines. ETL pipelines. Okay? ETL pipelines. So E stands for extract, extract. T stands for where I go put this T now. T stands for transform. Okay, and L stands for load. E extract, T transform, L load. Sorry. E for extract, T for transform, and L for load. So you see three databases: ATM database, mobile app database, and POS database. This data, all the data from ATM stored here, mobile app stored here, POS data stored here. Now, this data engineer is going to build a pipeline that will connect the data ATM database. Okay, that will connect. Sorry. All right, that will connect from the ATM database and feed into the data warehouse. So first of all, the data engineer would extract, like I said, ETL, extract the data from the database. Okay, we'll do some transformation. Okay, all right, we'll do some transformation. Sorry. On my body now. Sorry, guys. Sorry, apologies for this. Okay, we'll do some transformation. Okay, all right. Transformation basically means cleaning the data, restructuring the data, okay, and then load it into the data warehouse. So extract the data from ATM, transform the data, and load it into the data warehouse. The data engineer would also do the same thing for the mobile app database. It would extract the data, transform the data, and load it into the data warehouse. Okay, and transform the data, extract, transform, and load the data into the data warehouse. So you see, same thing with the POS, do the same thing with extract, transform, and load the data into the data warehouse. So you see now, the data warehouse is a combination of multiple databases. Okay, the data warehouse stores data from multiple databases. So data from ATM is inside the data warehouse. More data from mobile app inside the data warehouse. Data from POS database inside the data warehouse. Now, the data analyst, the data scientist, okay, will now connect to the data warehouse. So you see, these guys work majorly with data warehouses, data lakes, and so on, where data exists. So that's what they are working with. Okay. So now it's when they now do the connect to this data warehouse, then they can now do the analysis and they can visualize. Okay. They can visualize the total transaction, okay, for each one of them and find out that okay, ATM, mobile app, and POS. So you can see, oh, currently all our transactions, majority of the transactions are coming through ATM. Then, next one is POS, and the least for now is the mobile app. Okay. So you see, that's when they can start to do the analysis. What happened? Why did it happen? And all those things. It's based on the data in the data warehouse. But who makes the data available for these guys to do the analysis? The data engineer. Okay. So essentially, that's the role of the data engineer. Okay. And if you have more questions, please feel free to ask your questions. All right. Give me a second. Let me clean up all this. Give me a second. I'm just going to clean off all this. Boom. Okay. I'm presenting backwards. All right. That's exactly what you need to learn. You need to start from the fundamentals because, like I usually tell most people, becoming a data engineer, you don't learn this in school. All right. So you need to start from the fundamentals. So it's fundamentals in the sense that you're learning the introduction to data engineering. What's a database? What's a data lake? What's a data mart? What's a data warehouse? What's a data delta lake? So what's the difference between all these things? Why do we use them? What's the difference between OLAP, online analytical processing, OLTP, online transaction processing? What's the difference between ACID and base? All those concepts, you need to understand it. So that's the introduction to data engineering. You also have introduction to SQL. You start with that. You move into programming, Python programming. You see these are the two technologies you get to work with. But you see again, Python is there. Okay, to use Python. All right. Python programming, you have Linux, you get to learn Linux. You get to learn how to build custom ETL pipelines, extracting data from databases, APIs, and you also work with what we call web scraping. All right. You also do what we call web scraping using getting data from the web. So you get to learn how to extract data from databases, APIs, and web application. You'll also get to work with Apache Spark. Okay. You work with Apache Airflow for automation and AWS Cloud Engineering. You get to learn that. Version control using GitHub. You will also learn that. And funny enough, you still get to work with AI tools like ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot for programming. Mukala is asking a question. The role of the data engineer is likely more simpler than others. I won't say likely more simpler than others. It's you don't need mathematics, statistics, and all those technical mathematics that a data scientist would need. All right. Okay. What makes this role very interesting is just because you don't need all those mathematics. So if you're not fond of mathematics, statistics, and all those things, predictive analytics, machine learning, okay, if that doesn't interest you, then this role should interest you because you're literally just moving things from one place to the other. All right. You're building infrastructure, data infrastructures for the business. Okay. Data models. You're building data models. You're building data, the data architecture of the business itself is all the things that you'll be working on. All right. So yes, it's not simple. I won't say simpler. All the programs are relatively simple if you put your mind to it, to be honest with you. So some people will start data engineering and find it challenging because they don't have interest in it. And that's why I keep using the word interest. So if machine learning, statistical modeling, and all those predictive analytics, you being able to build models and all that interests you, stick with data science. If you are more concerned about how to build stuff from scratch, okay, and work things out, essentially, then data engineering is for you. Now, in terms of the learning timeline, this is for 5 months, 3 months of learning, immersive learning, and 2 months of internship. 2 months of internship where you get to work on more projects, build up your skills, your confidence, and so on. All right. So we also have live classes. Okay, we have one live class for this that combines the guys in Africa, Europe, and the guys also in the US. So we have one time for everybody. So it's 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time on Saturday, live class, and on Sunday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturdays, every Saturday for the guys in Canada and the US, and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time for the guys in Nigeria, West Africa, Africa in general, and also in Europe. So we're all going to be learning together. So Sunday, you also get your self-paced material to allow you to learn at your own pace, to move at your own pace, and basically work on projects at your own pace. All right. So the live classes most times is a bit difficult for everybody to move together. Even though the sessions are recorded, you will get access to the recording and you can watch at your own pace. Well, the self-paced videos are what would actually help you practice at your own pace, learn at your own pace, ask questions at your own pace, and so on, and get started. So essentially, that's the role, what you need to do to get started in data engineering. So you're going to be learning tools like Python. You get to work with Draw.io, okay, for building your data models and all that. You get to work with SQL, you get to work with Linux, Apache Spark, Apache Airflow, AWS Cloud Engineering, GitHub, AWS, and Copilot for coding and version control, respectively. All right. So that's the role of a data engineer. All right. And different roles you can actually take on. Okay. So the data engineer, you can work as a data engineer, a data architect, ETL developer, which stands for extract, transform, and load developer. Oh, this is a mistake from my own part. Okay. Big data engineer, you can work as a big data engineer. You can work as a cloud data engineer. You can work as a BI developer. You can work as a database administrator. You can also work as a sales engineer. All right, sales engineer. All right. You could also work as a customer engineer, so these are roles that you could actually take on that don't follow the naming convention of data engineer, but you could definitely work as in those roles. So the role of cloud engineer, for example, you could work as an AWS cloud engineer because you're going to learn it. BI developer, you can work as a BI developer because you can build data architecture for analytical purposes and so on and so forth. Now, last but not the least, which we have here, cybersecurity. Okay, cybersecurity. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Okay, what is the role of the cybersecurity analyst? Essentially, it's to prevent, to build, to prevent, to identify cyber threats within the business. All right. So I usually use one very simple example of a friend of mine. Okay. All right. And the WhatsApp was hacked. Okay. WhatsApp is WhatsApp just one individual. Okay. All right. WhatsApp was what was hacked. Okay. All right. So this one individual, WhatsApp was hacked, and about five that I know of, five of his friends were scammed. Okay. Five of this guy's friends were scammed. The total amount that was scammed was about $200. All right, $200. One person, one individual, one person. Okay, WhatsApp was hacked. All right, based on the hack, they were able to manipulate five friends to pay $200. Okay, so essentially, one person, five people were defrauded or scammed of 200 to the tune of $200. Unfortunately, I was one of them. So it was a simple scam, but very interesting one for people that don't ask questions like myself. So this friend of mine, okay, while his WhatsApp was hacked, I never knew it was hacked. So the hacker sent me a message, okay, sent me a message. I was saying that, oh, if you remember, my phone, my transaction, for the day has been exhausted. I've elapsed my transaction limit for the day, and I need to pay this person urgently. Okay, all right. I'll send you the money. Once I get the next day, once I get my limits back and everything. All right. So obviously, this is a friend of mine that we don't chat often, but anytime we chat, we talk very well. He's a very good friend of mine. So when I saw the message, I was like, I didn't even hesitate. I was just like, oh, sure, bro, send me the person's account number and I'll send it to you. So I sent you the money. Okay. And how did I know it was a scam? Okay. I know that this my friend of mine would not, it will ask one time. Okay. I'm like, oh, bro, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Maybe yab me a little bit, insult me a bit. Do you understand? I will insult him back, just the way we roll. You know, that's when he sent me another message again to say that, oh, bro, that money you sent, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. But, the money I'm actually looking for is actually this certain amount. Okay. Can you top up? Okay. And let me know when you top up. And I was like, this is not the guy that I know. Or I started asking a question that, guy, are you okay? Why you not take out the first time? Can you tell me more about this? Just chatting with him more, I knew his phone, I knew that was not him. Immediately he started responding to the messages. I knew it was not him. So I had to call other friends of mine to find out what the issue was, and I found out what his phone was out. Eventually, when I was talking to him, he told me about five other people were hacked, or five people, other people paid just the same way I paid, and everything was almost to the tune of $200. All right. So that's exactly one person that has just a WhatsApp. Okay. So we know the story with Patricia also. Okay. All right. That was hacked also. Business was hacked. And what happened? The system, the hacker did what? They were sending money out of the business. And now you see, we all know where Patricia is at this point in time. So essentially, cyber threats as now obviously if somebody's just a single WhatsApp can be hacked. And one individual, they were able to scam five people to the tune of $200. Patricia almost lost its own, financial stability based on the hack itself. So you see, at the end of everything, what is that thing that people need? So if you go on WhatsApp now, on WhatsApp, you see what we call end-to-end encryption. I'll talk more about that when we talk about cryptography. Okay, end-to-end, encryption. Okay, end-to-end encryption basically means that I'll explain when I get to, the curriculum cryptography. So essentially, these businesses, tech firms, are looking at how to secure people's data, okay, to secure people's data, either transaction, bio data, whatever the case might be. Because if hackers can get access to this bio data, okay, this data, people's data, transaction, date, life, whatever transaction, it's easy for them to get scammed. Okay. And when people are getting scammed, obviously it will reduce in what they call it, reputational risk is affected when people know that, oh, if you stay with this particular organization, you will get scammed, that reputation, okay, would be affected, and that would lead to loss of customers, which will lead to the closing of business, just like Patricia. All right. One person knew that, oh, my money is not there anymore. My balance is not showing anymore. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. One person tells the next person, and the next, everything keeps cascading downwards. And that's how everybody starts to withdraw their money. All right. And that's how, it affects the business itself. So cybersecurity has never been so important in this day and age. And that's because businesses are starting to see that they need to safeguard their business, from cyber threats. So, cybersecurity, what do you need to learn to become a cybersecurity analyst? First of all, introduction to cybersecurity. Like I said, this is you getting started in cybersecurity. You need to learn, you need to understand, you need to get started. That's exactly what you need to do. All right. Foundation of computing and networking. You need to understand, how computing works. Okay. How networking works in order for you to become a cybersecurity analyst. Next thing, information security principle, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, how to build offensive systems, how to also build defensive systems, how to penetrate, how to build penetration pipelines and all that. Okay. Now you also get to work with cryptography basics, and that's what I was trying to explain. So if you see WhatsApp, for example, okay, when you're talking about cryptography, a perfect example is WhatsApp. So essentially, you have person A and you have person B, and you have something in the middle, okay, which they call end-to-end encryption. end to end. You sit on WhatsApp every day. Okay. Well, I'm very sure some of you don't, some of you have never tried to ask what is end to end encryption. So basically, what it means that when you're sending a message to somebody, person A is sending a message to person B. Okay. Okay. Person A is sending messages back and forth. You're sending person messages back and forth. If an hacker externally, okay, tries to hack your communication in between. Okay. So you're sending a message A to B, B to A to B, sending it back and forth. All right. If the hacker tries to hack your network or tries to hack your communication essentially and comes to the middle to see how they can tap into your conversation, these guys will not understand. It will be scrambled. It will be scrambled. Okay. End-to-end encryption. So basically, it's only when the message is delivered in person B's account, WhatsApp, when it comes into the person's phone, that this will become readable. It will become readable. So you see, when the message is sent, when you send message to somebody, while it is sending, before it gets sent, if somebody gets interacted, if that message gets intercepted, it will be scrambled. The person will not be able to encrypt, will not be able to understand the message. But once the message lands in the B's inbox, it gets decrypted and it becomes readable. So that's what you call cryptography. You being able to build a system using ciphers to build this system in order for you to avoid, people. And this is not just the other thing. Same thing with you sending transactions, you sending money, you putting your information online, all right? You putting safeguarding people's information, banking transactions, even your internet, your social media, the likes of Snapchat, the likes of Twitter, the likes of Facebook, all this information, how can they get access to it? How can they build a system encryption around it? That's essentially what cryptography is all about. And more, there's still more. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Okay. So now you also learn cyber threat and attack vectors. Okay. You would also work with network security. So cryptographic breaks is cyber threat and attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web and application security, cloud security. You see a lot of organizations are migrated to the cloud. You would also get to work with cloud security, incident reports and forensic, okay, cyber threat and policies compliance. So these and more are what the things you'll learn. Learning timeline, 4 months, okay, 3 months of learning process of learning, live class learning and all that, and 1 month of internship where you get to work on real life projects, okay, building systems, building infrastructures and all that. So 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship. Okay. So now the live classes for this, you have classes every weekend, Saturdays and Sunday. Okay. So you have the live classes on Saturday, 2 p.m., 11 to 2 p.m. West African time, and you have 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. 11 to 2 p.m. West African time and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. West African time. Some of the tools you get to work with, work with Wireshark, VMware, SQL, Python, Metasploit, Linux, Burp Suite, Zap, Splunk, Web, and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. So those are the things that you get to work with. Okay. Now, what application, what roles can you apply to? Okay. So you can work as a cybersecurity analyst, you can work as a SOC analyst, which is Security Operations Center analyst. All right. You can work as a compliance analyst, cyber threat intelligence analyst, information security analyst, IT analyst, network security analyst, forensic analyst, incident reports analyst. So there are tons of roles you can actually apply to that are in that cybersecurity space. So most people think that, oh, I'm just going to go online and search for cybersecurity, but there are other roles you can actually apply to, all right, based off what you have in here. All right. So the internship program is a very immersive one, and you find out that all through our conversation so far, every of the program, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity analyst, they all have internship. Now, what's the benefit of this internship for you? You can add it to your CV, right? You see a lot of people try to transition into the tech space are looking for learning experience. Okay. Oh, can I intern for free in the organization? All right. So most people they learn and they're still looking for free internship for them to learn. to grow. And that's what we're offering for free. Okay. Now, you can add it to your experience. You can actually attach your entire learning experience with analytics to become your work experience. So the 3 months, 4 months duration you're going to be learning with us, you can use it as work experience. Okay, so you can tell a potential recruiter that, oh, I'm currently working with analytics as a cybersecurity analyst, as a data engineer, as a data scientist. All right. So, that gives you a leverage to say that this is what I'm doing at this point in time. This is what I've done. This is what I am building. This is what I've worked on, and so on and so forth. And you can add it to your CV essentially. 1 month to own your skill, 1 or 2 months. Data engineering is 2 months, the rest of them are 1 month. 1 month to own your skills. So you working on projects, real life projects that you can then, put in front of the recruiters that these are the things I've worked on, these are the things I have built, and these are the impact of the works I've done within the business I've worked on. Okay. So you get to work on an average of 6 additional projects during the internship, giving you that boost of confidence when you are applying or interviewing for a role. Now you also get project review with an expert. So you have an industry expert that are going to put you through the solutions, what to do, best practice, industry standards practice, and so on. So essentially, it's a life cycle. You can add it to your CV to claim work experience. You can use that as an avenue for you to own your skills. 6 additional, minimum of 6 projects added to your portfolio, and project review with an expert. All right. So why should you trade with us? This is going to go off the back of 4 points that we have. Okay. So number one is phenomenal achievement helping people get job. The goal for us, like I've said right from the start of the session, is how do we get more Africans into the tech space? And we've been answering that question for the past 3 years. So in the past 3 years, we've helped over 2,000 people transition from classroom into their first job in the tech space. No prior experience is needed. Zero prior experience is needed. So you're coming from classroom, you're learning. You can see the immersive classes that we have designed. All right, you're coming from the classroom and you're getting your first job. That's what we're building. All right. So you don't need any prior experience. Okay. Old things are passed away and all things have become new. Okay. All right. That's exactly what we're doing. So we're trying to see how you can get a job. And we have a record and we have proof. It's not we saying 2,000 plus people and you barely see the information out there. You barely see these things out there. We have proof. Right now, but we say explain, tire, no evidence. We, on the other hand, we have evidence, plenty of evidence. All right. And I'll show you some of the evidence as we go on. All right. Industry standard facilitators and curriculum. See, guys, most people are skeptical of transitioning into the tech space because they don't have a good mentor, they don't have a good trainer. Look at what we did today. Just take a look at what we did today. All right, we're able to understand Python fundamentals, data types. See what we covered in just a space of 1 hour, there about 30, 45 minutes. We're able to cover the 3 data types in Python, conditional statements, variable assignments, for loop within the space of 30 minutes. Now imagine you having, 3 months of learning curve from somebody that does this on a day-to-day and holding you and guiding you through the process. And that's the whole essence of having an industry standard facilitator and curriculum. So you see all the curriculum that has infused AI tools on how to use them in working smarter, not harder, working smarter, not harder. So industry standard facilitators with curriculum that will get you ease of entry, hot knife in a butter, cut to slice it easily. All right. Don't suffer yourself. Don't stress yourself going on YouTube and learning from 7 people at the same time and you're confused at the end of the day. So that's exactly what we have to offer. Number three, blended training to accommodate every learning type. I'm a fast learner. I'm a slow learner. For this class that we had today, this master class we had today, I can tell you that categorically, some people understand 100% I've done, maybe 80%, let's say 80%. All they need to do is watch this video one more time and they are good. Some people, like myself, I need to work on it. When I get the recording, I still need to spend another 2, 3 hours to watch it, watch, rewind, in order for me to understand it thoroughly. Do you understand? To get that 80% I'm looking for. Now, how do we put those 2 people in the same class? The fast learner and I would say the relatively slow learner in the same class to learn at the same pace, right? That's where we come up with the blended training curriculum to accommodate both fast learners and slow learners. We have a mixture of what we call the live classes, okay, and the watch me do it videos. So you see here, watch me do it videos. So you have the live classes and the watch me do it videos. So the watch me do it videos are what do you call it? Self-paced materials, videos that allows you to practice and do things at your own pace. You can learn at your own pace. So you're not in a live class where people are, holding you back and saying that, oh, you're not supposed to be asking this kind of questions. Your questions are you're drawing us back. Okay. Now, how do we achieve that in the live class? Everybody's going at the same pace at the same pace. Everybody's moving at the same pace. That's where we watch me do videos come and play. So the watch me do videos, you get that before the live class for you to watch it as many times as you want, learn as much as you want. Once you come to the live class, you now have a project for you to now deploy those things that you've learned in a real life scenario. All right. So blended training delivery. And we also have tailored sessions, okay, to position you to land your first job. So a lot of people think it's the technical skills that get them the job. I'm very good in Python, so that's why I got a job. When my first job, the first job I ever got, I wasn't good with Python. Okay, I wasn't good in Python. The first statistical model I built was in Microsoft Excel. I wasn't good with Python. Okay, was I good in Excel? Considerably good in Excel. Was I the perfect in Power BI? I would say about 60%. Okay, but it wasn't a technical skill that got me the job. Guess what got me the job? My preparation for the interview process. Okay, so your ability to interview is a skill on its own. For somebody to see you for the first time during an interview process and the person should pick up a liking in you to say that I want to hire this person, I like this person, it's not easy for you to do that. Okay. It's a skill. How do you do that? How do you speak in a certain way to be able to get the confidence of the interviewer? All right. To buy into the nation, like to buy into that process, to buy into the market that you're selling. Or how do you do that? That's exactly why you have this. And that's why you see a lot of people struggling. Oh, I've gone on, I get a lot of DMs on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Oh, I like your experience. I've learned from Udemy. I've learned from this. I've learned from that. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I'm looking for more projects. I'm looking for. And you see a lot of people struggle. I'll use the word struggling to transition, and that's because they focus more on the technical than the soft skills. And I'm going to talk more about these soft skills that we're going to be talking about. Okay, and we've categorized them into three buckets. Okay, level one. Okay, level two. I'm going to come to level two. The first one is CV. Okay, CV. I had a session with Florence from InfoPlace Canada yesterday, and during this live session we had one of the guys asked the question. The guy asked the question around. He's based in the UK. He has not gotten an interview. He just finished a boot camp with another institution, and he has not been able to secure an interview. And I knew outrightly just from that question, this guy had a CV problem. A CV basically is like a dating app. The job market is like a dating app. Okay. So once you go on a dating app, what are you looking for? You're looking for the most attractive person. You're looking for somebody that matches you, that looks good, maybe that does something that does activities like yourself, or that does activity that you like. Okay. So you can swipe right. Okay. That's the way the job market is also. So, all right. So your CV is just like you putting your profile on a dating app. And you're expecting the recruiter to read through the dating app, okay, look through your profile and accept you. All right. But you need to look good. You need to look good. So your CV has to be looking good, it has to be exceptional. So we have the CV review that would help you revamp your CV. I have experience. I don't have experience. I've always worked as a mechanic, okay? But I want to do cybersecurity now. I want to give my life to tech, okay? And I want to do cybersecurity. How do I take my CV from being a mechanic to getting a role in cybersecurity? That's what we call the CV revamping session. So we'll do all that for you, all right, to prepare you essentially to get the job you're looking for. LinkedIn optimization also will do that for you. LinkedIn optimization works like search engine optimization. If you go on Google today and you want to buy a television and you type in television on Google, Google will recommend the best places you can buy the television, correct? That's what we call search engine optimization, SEO. That's the same thing with LinkedIn optimization. So if a recruiter comes on LinkedIn to search for a particular applicant, okay, a particular job role, a function, cybersecurity analyst, data engineer, data scientist, would your profile appear? It's likely no, okay? And that's why you don't get what we call emails. So people get emails. I receive emails almost every other day, okay? Because of my profile at the moment, all right? And how it is optimized, I get emails. My emails are not job related. I'm usually towards something that's entirely, okay? Products, development, founders, and all that. So that's what it's tailored to, okay? Now, link optimization for job posting, for recruiters reaching out to you directly to get to you the roles that you're looking for, rather than even you applying. They are sending you a message that we are currently recruiting for this role, and we are likely to see if you are currently in the market. Upwork optimization for freelancers. If you want to work freelance, we would help you optimize your Upwork profile to get you more gigs as a freelancer. Navigating the job market is an essential skill set you need to have. So, and that's why a lot of people too struggle. How do I navigate the job market? I'm currently in Canada. How do I get a job? What job site should I go to? Can I get a remote job in the US if I learn this skill set? Those are the kind of questions you have to ask. Okay. That's exactly what we answered during the navigated the job market sessions. So we can actually get these jobs. I'm in Canada. Can I get a job in the US? I'm in the US. Can I get a job in Canada? I don't know if you want to do that because obviously the salaries in the US is a lot more than the salaries in Canada. All right. You get more pay for roles in the US. Okay. If I'm in Nigeria, can I get a remote job in the US? Yes, you can. How do I apply for it? Don't worry. We have sites that I'm going to show you shortly where you can apply for remote jobs. Okay. Navigating the job market is very essential. All right, very essential. And you see that the focus has moved away from just learning technical skills. You learn the technical skills. You have your life classes, you would have all the self-paced materials, everything you need to learn. But you see, this additional, that's why we need to talk about this before we even talk about anything about price and all that. So you understand. Guys, yes, the money is there. But you see, we're investing so much in getting you the job that you're looking for. From civil review, link optimization, Upwork optimization, navigating the job market, job and interview preparation. So once you get a job or an interview, we'll prepare you for the interview, all right, to get you ahead of the market. All right. So how do you answer your question? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about a time. How do you answer questions? How do you answer questions during an interview? We'll also give you recommendation and reference letter in order to get you what you're looking for. Also, we also talk about weekly mentorship sessions and on-the-job support. We provide all that for you to get you started. All right, and on-the-job support. So once you get a job and you feel like you can't do it by yourself, we'll also support you during the onboarding process. Okay. Weekly mentorship sessions where we bring in experts within the industry to also hold you, to guide you, also provide some level of mentorship to you, all right, to get you started. Now, level three, for the guys in the US, the UK, Canada, and across Europe, okay, we are guaranteeing you interviews. Interviews. So all those things that you're saying, oh, I can't get a job, I'm confused, I don't know how to get a job, we're guaranteeing you interviews. And how do we do this? Three modules, okay? Number one, we have the body mentorship hub. So the body mentorship hub works in a certain way, in a sense that most people, majority of the guys have gone through analytics and have gone after to get a job. They're coming back to help us, also help people get jobs. They've gotten jobs and they're like, okay, last year I never thought I could get a job as a data engineer. I've gotten a job now. Okay, how can I help other people do the same thing? Essentially, that's what the body mentorship hub is all about. Now, enhanced internship experience, I talked about this already. So these are new initiatives that are deploying this year. So our internship program are more tailored towards real life scenarios, okay, real life case studies. Some of you will be building real products that will be deployed to the general public and all that. Now, the last but not the least is partnership with recruitment agencies in the UK, Canada, US, and other countries. And what we're trying to build is that system whereby you get recommended for the training program. Okay, you get recommended for job roles. So again, we've secured some partnership. We are still working to secure more partnership. And essentially, what we're trying to do is to ensure that once you finish the training program, we start recommending you for these jobs so that you can get a job. And then after we prepare you for, the interviews, we prepare you for you or your onboarding and all that, on the job support and all that. So how do I get remote jobs? Very good question. Okay, so I've created materials. We have materials in here that will show you how to get remote jobs. So all you need to do once you get these materials, okay, just click on the link. It's going to take you to a YouTube page where you can to walk you through how you can get a job, remote job. Okay, how you can apply for a remote job. So you see, this currently is the role of currently it just went straight to the part where I was talking about data engineering. Okay, you could also apply for, you see, it's showing you places you can apply for roles. All right. And basically just walk you through the whole process of where to apply for roles. Okay, remote roles. So I have two videos for remote roles. Okay, so just click the link. It's going to take you to the part where you can apply for remote roles. Okay, so how to get remote jobs, and it's walking you through the entire process. Also, I added one interesting one there: how to get sponsored jobs. So if you're currently in Nigeria or you're looking to get a sponsored job in the UK, how do you apply? Where do you apply? How do you know these people that can sponsor you into the UK? That's exactly what Adeza is going to be walking you through. So you see, that's what you need to learn. So can I get a sponsored job in the UK, Tier 2 visa? Okay, that's exactly what you see here. So you see that all you need to do is just click on the links that you have in the materials and you get access to it. The videos are there on our YouTube page. You could also just go on YouTube, our YouTube account, and you can see the videos in there. So join our next call starting on the 22nd of March, 2024, 22nd of March, 2024. Now, for pay, data science, all right, we're running the last um bird discount, early bird discount, or late bird discount this time around. Okay. So the discount is only available for the first 20 people to register for all the training program. Okay. So looking at what we have here, so the full amount is the actual amount, okay, of the training program, okay. But like I said, we're doing a discount for the first 20 people, okay, first 20 people to register for each of the program. So now looking at this, the discounted amount is $600 for data science, or £500 equivalent, or £500 equivalent. So if you're in the US, you're in Canada, you could actually pay in US dollars or $600 for data science. Data science also in pounds is £500. Now, the discount amount allows you to pay in two installments. It allows you to pay in two installments. All right, so this 600 and £500 equivalent, you could actually pay in two installments. So rather than paying 600 in full, you could actually pay £450 or £375 equivalent, all right, for your first installment. And then the second installment can come in 1 month into the training program. 1 month into the training program. So all you need right now to secure your position is $450 or £375 to secure your discount. Now, if you're interested in data engineering or cybersecurity analyst, the price are different. So the discount amount is $750 instead of $900. And in pounds, instead of $750, it is £625. Okay. Now you can pay in two installments. Okay, allows you to pay in two installments of 550 and 550 and £460. You can pay installment of 200 and £165, and that's exactly what you get from the session. All right. So first payment is $450 for data science or $375. For data engineering cybersecurity, $550 or £460, and you can pay in two installments to get started. All right. So all you need to do right now is to secure your position, is to pay the first amount. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So all you need to do is click on the link that is being pasted on the chat. So you have the mainstack.me/enroll analytics. Okay, click on that, and it's going to take you to the enrollment page. So whatever training program that you are interested in, all you need to do is scroll down. So if you're interested in cybersecurity, for example, all you need to do is click on cybersecurity, and it's going to take you to the page where you can pay for the cybersecurity training program. All right, so you see the discount price is what you see there, and that's because we are still running the discount. So you see 625 is matching the amount you have on the slide, £625. Okay, so that's what you have there. Okay, so obviously you can pay in installments, being the fact that you're paying the discounted amount. So you don't need to pay this amount in full. All you need to pay is the £460. £460. So over here, you could change it from 4625 to 460. It will allow you to change it to 460, and you can make that payment, reserve a seat. Okay, and then you can put in your name, your address, email address, and so on and so forth. Okay. So for the guys in Nigeria, once you click on the link, it's also going to show you in Naira. So you're not paying in dollars, you're going to be paying in Naira. Okay, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing. All right, you're going to be paying in Naira. So once you click on the main stack link, it's going to show you your payments in Naira. So if you're in Canada, it will show you Canadian dollars. If you're in the UK, it will show you in UK pounds. If you're in the US, it will show you in US dollars. If you're in Nigeria, it will show you in Naira. Okay. For guys outside the country of Nigeria, maybe in Ghana, you're in South Africa, it's likely going to show you in dollars. Okay. But for the guys in Nigeria, it's going to show you in Naira. So you don't need to stress yourself, okay? You can pay in Naira. You can pay with your card. You can pay with any amount you have there. All right. So for data engineering, the same thing. If you're interested in data engineering, or let's say data science rather. So full stack data science is what you have there. Click on the full stack data science. It's going to take you to the page for full stack data science. You see this, the discount price of 500 is what you see. All right, but that's not what you need to secure a discount. You need £375 to secure a discount. So you can just type in 375 to secure the discount, and you can proceed to make that payment, proceed to pay, and that's all you need to do to secure your discount. So once you come to the page, once you come online, once you come to Full Stack Data Science, for example, all right, and you see that the discount price has changed. Once you see that this suggested price has changed from £500 to the actual amount of £625 or $750, you know the discount has elapsed. Okay, the discount has elapsed, and then you'd have to pay in full rather than paying in installments that we have at the moment. So secure your discount now. Don't waste any time. Once you make payment, somebody send you a message asking about, I've made payment, what do I do next? Okay, once you've made payment, all you need to do is payment registration form. You see, upload your receipt here. All right, so take a screenshot of the email confirmation once you pay online, once you pay through main stack. Okay, you see the email confirmation, you see the payment registration form, you see upload your receipt here, upload your receipt here, take a screenshot of that email, click on upload your receipt here. It's going to take you to a Google form where you can, put in your email, put in the type of payment. If it's initial payment, you put it there. All right. And let's see if we may now, it's analytics for IO. Okay, put in the next, you put in the information. Please note that, after receiving your welcome kit, all buyers payment must be made before the 29th of March. So you see, you have a month to complete your second payment. So yes, you move on to the next thing. You put in your first name, your last name, your email registration, your preferred email registration. We usually prefer a Gmail account. So it's easy for us to, move it to the classroom, Google Classroom, and so on. So we run a Google architecture for our classes and all that, recorded sessions. We use Google Meet and all that. So essentially put in your Gmail there, okay? Gender, if you're male or female, you specify, and we put all the things that you need there. So I'm just going to put in my email again. All right, last name, if you may not, I'll just put Ife there, and I'll put IK, Euro. All right. So you just keep putting in all the information. We have the terms and condition. You can click here to read the terms and condition for payment. All right. All the things you need to understand about payments, terms and condition about data analytics, terms and condition. You go there, click on it to get started. You click yes. Once you're done, you click on next. Okay. When did you make your payment? Obviously, if it's today, you put in today's date. All right. 23rd. All right. I'm just walking you through the process of what you need to do. Just fill in the form. It takes about 5 minutes to fill the form in order for you to get registered. So once you've made payment, for the guy sending me a message about making payment and asking what happens next. So once you've made payment, once you go to cybersecurity, for example, you make payment to cybersecurity. All you need to do is come back here, click on upload your receipt, and walk through the Excel sheet, the Google form to make the payment. All right. So I was talking about testimonials that we have proof of people that have gotten jobs, okay? And you see, that's where one thing I like to say, it always seems impossible until somebody else gets it done. Okay, it always proves difficult. It always feels impossible. It always feels like this is impossible until somebody gets it done. Ini Akpabio got a job as a CEO of a tech company after joining the class. And you see, the video recording is there. All right. This is not a joke. This is real. And that's why we say we have proof. Okay. We have enough proof to tell you that these things exist. So the links are there on all the, once you get the material, click on the link. It's going to take you to where you would listen to Ini Akpabio. See, you see this Ini here, and he got a job as a CEO of a tech company. Okay, and that's one of the milestones, and that's why you see him here. If he also got a job as a business analyst after completing the training program, Nathaniel got a job as a business analyst, joined the data engineering in July 2023, and was able to get a job as a business data analyst. Okay, Kendi Makinde, NHS, as an R&D specialist data analyst. You see, this is what Ini wrote. Okay, hello mates, I'm happy to announce I'm now the CEO of Rootstack. An official communication will be made by the business soon. Rootstack is an award-winning ERP implementation and software development company, an older partner. Why am I saying this? I want to thank Analytics for bringing out the ginger in me. Besides the regularly well-organized and structured weekly classes, the other sessions, such as the mentorship sessions every Thursday, shaped my mind towards success. Though I have been in the IT industry for more than a decade and I've done more than one project, and he talked extensively about how everything added up together. I owe 10 Analytics big time. Let me also say that from January 2nd, 2024, February 2nd, 2024, I have attended more interviews than I have had in my entire life, career life. So you see, these are the things that will do for you. Navigating the job market, your CV, your review, and all those things to get you started. Tony landed a job as a benefit analyst with the NHF, full visa sponsorship. Look, baby got a job as a business data analyst with the Law Depot. Fraud analyst, that is with Tosin. Tosin currently works as a fraud analyst. Wenga got a job in Poland as a business data analyst. Abigail got a job as a business analyst. We have a ton, like testimonials got jobs, UK, Canada, France, Germany, Norway. We have people getting jobs literally everywhere across the world. So when you're saying that people, what are these people? These are Africans, these are Nigerians, these are Ghanaians, these are literally Africans, literally across the world that are getting jobs. And how are they getting this job? It's still through the training programs that we're offering. Nothing more than what I've said today is really what has really encouraged and gotten these people started. All right. And we have enough people getting jobs literally across the world. All right. Literally. And the videos are there. All you need to do is click on the link, watch their videos, listen to them, and I'm very sure you'll be excited to hear about them. All right. So you see, those are the things that we have that we're going to be talking about. So if you're looking to getting started, all you need to do today is secure your position. And I'm going to let me talk about this Abigail, okay? She used to work as a care worker in Canada. She got a job as a business analyst, okay, project-based class, and she was able to get this job. And how this happened, very interesting. The video is there. I'm just going to summarize the video in like 2 minutes, okay? So Abigail was recommended, Analytics was recommended to her. So a friend of ours attended the training program, okay, the session, and this is her here. See how excited she is, okay? Let me see if I can share the audio with you guys. Okay, I'll just play the first couple of seconds so we can do that, then we can call it a day. All right.
How are you doing today?
I know. I'm good, thank you. How are you today?
I'm very well. Where are you joining us from, Abigail?
I'm from Saskatchewan, Regina, Canada. But I'll be
Fantastic.
moving to Edmonton end of the month for my new job.
Brilliant. All right. So
Yeah.
Abigail would like to hear your story because, of course, there are so many people here. They want to become business analysts. They've always found it very difficult and think that I must be the most intelligent person on earth to transition or become a business analyst. So tell us about your story. How were you able to make the transition yourself?
Yeah, so coming to, you have this mindset when you come from Nigeria to Canada, you just thought you are landing the six-figure job and then you are going to be rich in the next 2 months, 3 months. When I came, there's a different story. I choke. So I was unemployed for some time. It was depressing in and out. So I thought to myself, like, I used to think like I'm intelligent, but no, Canada told you are not intelligent. Like, it is zero. So I've always, I got this certification of business. Sometimes you just do something. I always say it even in class, you got it and you don't know what it means, you don't know whatever, you know. So I had it, and then the search for job, I was called for interviews and all of that. So possibly, I think I fumbled a lot in the interview. So I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I need to do something. And then a friend saw the advert of Analytics and like, do you think this is something he could do? And before he could answer, I'd already paid my money because I know I needed coaching and all of that. So I did the coaching. It was in the coaching that I realized I have entered a one chance since that I don't know anything actually, even though I thought I knew. So it was in the coaching that I was, I was really coached to the extent of there was one thing that Izzy Adeze or the other guy said, like you could be a carpenter and be a business analyst. You could be a mother and you're a business analyst or a project manager. You could be selling pure water and you're a business analyst. So talk more of somebody that is a professional, like you've worked for 2 years.
So you see, these are the things that so you see, a friend sent it to her, okay? A friend sent her just the same way you're in the master class, and probably you're going to recommend it to a friend of yours. Somebody recommended analytics to her, and there's her, she paid just by looking at it. Now, the difference between herself and a friend, I don't know where the friend is. The friend might still be, I don't know where the friend is, to be honest with you. All right. But the friend, likely maybe is still trying to, validate what we call analysis paralysis, over analyzing the situation. Will I get a job? Will I not get a job? Is it a good investment? Is it this? Is it that? And people are stuck in that limbo, okay, on what to do. How should I go about it and so on. So essentially, that's the key thing. That's the challenge people are facing. All right. And essentially, this girl saw it. Okay, Abigail saw it. I was able to pay for it. And now she works as a business analyst in Canada, working with the government of Edmonton, government of Canada, but she's going to be residing in Edmonton. So you see, these are the things that you don't know that you have access to that you could actually do. So if you have friends in Canada, you have friends in the US, you have friends in UK, you have a ton of testimonials. You're even in Nigeria looking to get remote jobs would help you achieve all this. So all you need to do is believe that you could actually do it. That's the first thing. All right. And once you believe you could do it, would help you achieve it. That's literally the key thing that you need to have at the back of your mind. All right. So, anyways, if you're looking to get this started, okay, click on the main stack link to register. Also, you could just visit our website. You see the link here, 10analytics.io, which will take you to our website where you can get more information about the programs and anything that you're looking for. All right. So you have a training program takes you to this. And what about training program that you're interested in? Take, for example, you're interested in the cybersecurity analysis, the cybersecurity program, view details, and you can scroll down. You see the details of exactly what you've been learning during the training program. So we talked about cryptography, we talked about cyber threat and an attack. You basically what would you be learning? So you see the symmetric and asymmetric encryption. I talked about encryption earlier. So all the things, details of everything you'll be learning during the training program would be embedded in the session. So basically, everything that you need to learn, everything that you need to become, well-grounded, is essentially what you'll be learning in here. So this is well thought out, well structured to get you started in your desired career. Okay, and basically the cost benefits, what would you be benefiting, how to navigate the job market, link optimization, Upwork optimization, internship, one-on-one CV review, job recommendation, and job interview preparation, job opportunities. We talked about this penetration tester, ethical hacker, incident responder, forensic analyst, and so on and so forth. So you have, and that's the same thing for every other course that we have. Okay, so if you're looking to go into full stack data science, it's the same thing. Click on the link, it takes you to the full stack data science program and tells you everything that you will be learning from the training program. In-depth detail about all the things you'll be learning from the training program. So if you're looking to get it started, guys, don't waste any more seconds, don't waste any more of your time. Register now and let's get started. Okay. So this note, guys, this is what I'm going to call it a day. Okay. The last 2 hours plus has been a very educative one for not just myself, but I'm sure for you also. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the main session, in the main training program. And let's see how we can work together in order for you to become the desired tech professional that you want to become. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful day. If you're just starting your Saturday, have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, and bye for now, guys. Bye. Bye, everyone, and bye for now. Register, please. Register also. Bye.